All right, so go ahead and find yourself in that comfortable seat, whatever shape that looks like for you today. Try to sit up nice and tall. Think about elongating through the spine. In the yoga workshop I went to this week, she called it your divine line. I really liked that, kind of sitting up nice and tall, reaching the crown of your head up towards the sky. Maybe even bringing your shoulders right up tight towards your ears, and then exhale, rolling them down and back. Maybe palms face up this morning can assist us in getting a sense of openness if we're feeling closed off. Or palms face down if you feel like you're scattered and you need a place to touch down on. As you sit here, just settling into your breath, noticing the inhales and the exhales. You don't have to adjust your breath, just notice what it feels like as the cool air comes in through your nose and leaves your nose as you exhale. Just see how your body is feeling this morning. And then just start to notice your thoughts. Are they fully present in this moment with your breath? Are they jumping here and there? If you find your thoughts jumping, which is totally normal, that's what mine do all the time. One thing that I do is sometimes I think about myself seated at a table, and I just imagine another version of myself sitting next to me and kind of observing their mind and saying, oh, that's busy. They have a busy mind. And then that allows me to kind of come back into my meditation, putting that outside of myself. In meditation, we learn about ourselves by learning about our minds and our bodies, but in order to learn about our minds, we have to be able to observe it. As you stay here in this seated posture, I'm going to read a short quotation to help us begin today. And it's by Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. I'm going to read that one more time. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Whenever you're ready, you can begin to open your eyes. Take a big inhale. Let's lift the arms up overhead. Really tall stretch here in the first thing in the morning. Try to touch the ceiling. And then exhale, left palm down on the mat, and let's reach over with that right arm. So just getting a little bit of a side body stretch. Inhale, lift and lengthen back through center. And then exhale over towards the opposite side. Good, inhale back through center. Let's do one more on each side. Exhale, reach. Inhale, center. And exhale, reach. Inhale, center. Exhale, spinal twist, right hand behind the back, left hand to that right knee, and just look over the right shoulder. Inhale, untwist, arms lift. And then exhale over to the opposite side. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, switch the cross of the legs, hinge from the hips, reach forward and down, come in as far as you can. Take a forward facing fold with our legs crossed here, forehead towards the floor. And then as you're ready, begin to walk your hands back up and just roll over onto our hands and our knees. Before we come into our sun salutations, let's just take a few rounds of cat-cow here to warm up the spine. On our inhale, we'll drop the belly down, look up, lift the hips, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, squeeze the core, drop the head, let it become heavy. Inhale, we'll look up. Exhale, round. A couple more rounds here. And then come back to that neutral tabletop position. Let's just curl under the toes, lift the hips, quick downward facing dog. And then look between the hands, and we'll just walk our feet forward, forward facing fold. It's okay if that's not your deepest expression since it's still early in the practice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Palms touch. Take a little back bend. And hands to heart center. We're going to begin with our sun salutation. So just come to the top of your mat if you're not there already. Feet about hip width distance apart. We're going to start with sun salutation, the version A. Inhale, let's reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Bend your knees plenty here so you can plant the hands flat on the floor and step back into a plank pose. Option is you can always drop to your knees if you feel like full plank is too much. Slowly lower down, chaturanga, bringing the chest towards the floor, elbows tight beside the body. Tops of the legs on the mat, or you can lift them off the mat, but press the hands into the floor and lift that chest up, shoulders away from the ears. Curl over the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths in downward facing dog. Trying to flatten that back and bring the chest closer to the tops of the thighs. And then look between the hands, lock, step, or jump. forward fold, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweeping all the way up. And we're going right into it again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Really try to make this meditative. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back, plank. Chaturanga, hug those elbows in right beside the rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths in down dog. Look between the hands, walk, step, or jump. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweeping up. And right back into it. Exhale, forward fold. Good job. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down. Same exhale, we plant the hands, we step back, we go through chaturanga. So if you can't make it all in the same exhale, that's okay. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, but that's what we're going for eventually. 2 breaths. Look between the hands, walk, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweeping up. Exhale, little back bend. We do 2 more here. Exhale, forward fold. I'll walk you through this one again, and then you'll do the next one on your own. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, step back. Chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. Exhaling to down dog. 2 breaths. Look between the hands, walk, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive, and then just do this next one at your own. If you lose track, you can just look up at the screen at me. And whenever you're done, bring me all the way back up in our hands to heart center. Take a moment here, whenever you get here, to press the thumbs against the chest. Close your eyes before we move into our variation of B. Just notice what the body feels like. Notice where the thoughts are going. And seeing that place between whatever things you're encountering, your stimulus, to the response you'd like to take. And we'll begin. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, big toes together, heels slightly apart, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, plant hands, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look between the hands. You're going to take that right foot and try to step the right foot between the hands. We'll spiral that left heel down, coming into warrior one. So that left foot is at a 45-degree angle, and that heel is completely planted. On your next inhale, we'll lift the arms up, warrior one. Great. We're going through this one a little bit slower just so we can get the form right. In warrior one, you want to make sure that the hips are square to the front of the mat. Your right knee is bent, but that left leg is straight and strong. So just do your best there. Shoulders are released. Think about wrists on top of shoulders, shoulders on top of hips. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come straight down, and we come back to plank. So right foot meets the left. Lower chaturanga. Inhaling your back bend. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. On the next inhale, we try to take that left foot and step it between the hands. Right foot spirals down 45 degrees. Inhale, arms sweep up. Pause here once again to check your alignment. Hips to the top of the mat. Back leg straight. The back of the edge of the foot really sinking into that mat, pressing firmly. Wrists, shoulders, hips aligned. Great. Exhale, hands come down. Left foot meets the right, plank pose. Chaturanga. Your version of a back bend, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Next inhale, you look between the legs. Walk, step, or jump. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up for chair pose. And then exhale, come up to stand. Good. There we go. So we'll do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Trying to go a little faster this time. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, sink into your chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release. Bend knees, plant hands, step it back to plank. Chaturanga, you can always come to your knees here if you need to. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, take that right foot between the hands. Back foot spirals down. Inhale, arms sweep up. Warrior one on the right side. Exhale, hands come down. Lower through plank and chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look between the hands. Left foot comes there. Right foot spirals down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Left foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Look between the hands. Walk, step, or jump. Forward facing fold, lifting up halfway. Exhale, release. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, lift up chair pose. Take an exhale. And lift all the way back up, standing up straight. Great, so you might notice that it's kind of harder to keep with your breath in those movements. But once you practice it a few times, it will feel more natural. So just do it as best as you can. If you don't follow the same pattern as I do, that's perfectly fine. But we're gonna do 2 more. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, sink back chair. Good, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Straightening the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, same exhale, we try to go back to plank and through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. That next inhale brings that right foot forward, spirals the left foot down, and lifts the arms up. Great. Exhale, hands come down, right foot back, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Next inhale, left foot forward, right foot spirals, arms lift up. Exhale, hands come down, left foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then you take 2 breaths. Look between the hands, walk, step, or jump, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, chair pose, biceps beside the ears. Exhale. Inhale, come up to stand. Great, I'm gonna let you all do that one time without me chattering in your ear. Of course, if you feel like you're getting lost, I know this is a lot, you can just follow me at your screen. Inhale, we'll sweep up. If you feel like you messed up, just go with it. Just move your body. We're not getting grades here. Let it become meditative if you can. Remember that down dog after both sides gets 2 breaths. Taking your time. Whenever you get there, just come up to find a standing posture, hands at heart center. Maybe even closing your eyes. Noticing how your body feels after that little flow. So as you can tell, I mean, that took less than 30 minutes. I don't know about y'all, but I broke a sweat on this end. Sun salutations will do that. And ideally, if you're doing them at the beginning of your day, doing them enough just to break that little bit of sweat is really helpful in awakening yourself. So that's kind of the goal, is do it enough times and quickly enough till you get that little bit of perspiration. All right, we're gonna move into some different postures now, since we're nice and warm. Inhale, lift the arms up. Let's take a little back bend, getting a little bit in the opposite direction of our spine. Palms together, squeeze the biceps beside the ears. Begin to press the hips forward, open up the heart, and look up and back. If you know you have low back issues or sensitivities, you can bring your palms to the base of your spine like you're sticking them in your back pockets. That gives you a little bit of extra support as you press the hips forward and look back. Think about drawing the elbows in towards each other if you're taking that option. And think about eventually looking to the opposite side of the room. Looking for that wall and then eventually the floor. Inhale, lift up, nice and slow, 1 vertebrae at a time. Arms up overhead if they're not there already. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant those hands back to plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll lift up that right leg for a 3-legged dog. And we'll just bend that right knee and stack the hips. Drawing some big hip circles here. Moving that right knee up and around. And then as you're ready, come back to that 3-legged dog. Look between the hands and try to lightly step that right foot. Spiraling the back foot at a full 90-degree angle because we're coming into warrior 2. Opening the arms up, that back foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat. Arms out to either side. Nice deep bend in that right knee. getting that thighs parallel to the floor as we can. Right palm flips up, and we'll take a reverse warrior here. Left hand to that back leg and reach that right arm up and over. Doing your best not to straighten your right knee. Oftentimes we straighten that leg, but really trying to keep the bend, keep the work in that lower body. Back to warrior two. And now you can straighten that right leg. Inhale, reach those right fingertips forward, and exhale for triangle pose. In triangle, we're thinking about stretching through the left side of the body, stacking shoulders and wrists on top of each other. Heart open, maybe you can look up towards the ceiling. Right, inhale, let's lift back up, come back to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down and lift that back heel off the mat. So now we're in a low lunge position. When and if you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. Great. From here, we're going to try to come into airplane lunge. So all we're going to do is inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, reach that chest slightly forward and bring those hands behind you. Good. Think about reaching through the crown of the head. You're lengthening through the spine all the way through that back heel. Inhale will come up all the way straight. Exhale, airplane lunge. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, option to come all the way up on that right leg. Balancing that left foot behind you as arms reach behind you. So that's a variation of warrior three. We're trying to think about getting that upper body and that back leg parallel to the floor. It's a lot easier than it looks, I think. You can either flex or point those back toes. So think about getting that left hip bone pointed down. So we're not opening up here, we're actually closing the hips down. One more inhale. Exhale, try to step back to warrior one. Arms lift. Hands come down. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in down dog, maybe shake out your legs. Sway your hips back and forth. And when you're ready, we'll look to the top of the mat. Walk, step, or jump, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. And hands to heart center. Great, same thing, just opposite side now. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. That's when we try to lengthen the back. Exhale, fold. Plant hands, step back to plank. Lower through chaturanga. The slower the better sometimes with our chaturangas. Inhale into your back bend. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg lifts. Bending the left knee and stocking the hips. Drawing some hip circles. Back to three-legged dog, inhale. Look between the hands and step that left foot. I'm gonna try to spiral that right foot down, coming into warrior two on the opposite side. When you're ready, coming all the way up. To clarify that foundation, sometimes I have to widen my stance a little bit, just so I can make sure I get a nice deep bend in that left knee. Not being afraid to challenge yourself and to try something new. Worst case scenario, you get tired and you have to back off later, right? But just see how far you can go today. Left palm flips up, inhale, reverse. Feel that left side body stretch as you still commit to that left knee bend. warrior two. We'll straighten that front leg. Inhale, reach as far forward as possible, and exhale, triangle pose. Hand rested on shin is fine, or a block, or you can just float that left hand. Inhale, we'll come back up, bending back into that left knee. Warrior two. Cartwheeling the hands down and lifting that right heel off the mat. So if you have to adjust your stance, go ahead and do that. But whenever you're ready, feel that foundation underneath both legs, kind of squeezing the inner thighs together will help keep you stable. Inhale, lift, chest up. Good. From high lunge, we're going back and forth between this position to a reaching airplane lunge. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, you lean slightly forward. You're not resting on that thigh though, and hands come behind you. As hands reach behind you, think about squeezing the backs of the arms where the triceps are located. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. One more like this. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Option to bring all of your weight to that left leg. Now, if you're in front of the couch like me, you might have to move back so you don't face plant in the couch. Work with whatever space you're in, but try to get that a full extension. Core, chest, back leg all parallel to the floor. Right hip points down. If that right foot is flexed, think about pointing those toes towards the floor. One more inhale. Slowly exhale, come back to warrior one. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhale, hands come down, and take it back downward facing dog. Let's drop to our knees from here, spreading them out wide on either edge of the mat, and just press the hips back towards the heels for a nice resting posture, child's pose. You can keep this active by lifting arms up off the mat, or you can just drop the forehead down, release the arms, let it all go for a second. And just noticing how you feel, what kind of thoughts have come up for you? We went pretty quickly through some strength postures, and you might notice that you felt like all over the place in that. Maybe you felt really meditative, maybe you didn't. And just going back to that quotation that we thought about, whatever sort of things we're facing right now, if there's obstacles or pathways, reminding yourself of that type of freedom that there is in the responses that we choose. In your own time, let's come back forward, just in the tabletop position, curling the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. We're gonna come into half pigeon from here. Inhale, start with the left leg today. Lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna try to first just bring that left knee towards the left elbow. Just feel that strength. Inhale, lift back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the left knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, lift back up, three-legged dog. Once again, left knee towards left elbow. See if you can bring that left ankle towards the right elbow, and then lay that leg down as we prep for pigeon. You can walk the back foot back a little bit. I always do that to lengthen the stretch. And then maybe come up onto the fingertips Inhale, breathe, and look up towards the ceiling. And exhale, as you're ready, you can come down towards the floor. Okay? So take your time going into deep stretches such as this. It's really important that you become aware of the difference between good and bad pain, is what I kind of say. Like, it's not necessarily always comfortable, but you want to make sure it's not a place that would produce an injury for you. So if you are feeling pain, for instance, in your left knee, you can just roll over onto your back and do this in a reclined position by crossing that left ankle over the right thigh and drawing your knees in towards your chest that way. So just know that there's another option for you, and you won't have to sit there and suffer through it. Yoga is challenging, but it's not supposed to be torture, okay? It's supposed to be good for you. Just breathe. Maybe you can relax the skull, the head on your hands or the floor, releasing the entire weight of the brain, the thoughts in it. Very slowly come up, back up onto the hands, if you're not there already. We're going to stay in this position just to come into a spinal twist. So if you're in a reclined position, you might just have to sit up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of roll over onto that left hip. I'm going to face the camera so you can see me. And then we're bringing that right leg over the crossed leg. Okay? You're just crossing the right leg over the left one that was bent. And then we're bringing that right hand behind the back. Inhale, lifting through the spine. And exhale, twisting towards the bent knee, looking over that right shoulder. If it's too much to bring your hand all the way over the knee, you can always just hug the knee in towards the chest. So sometimes I like that option better. This feels better sometimes. Giving yourselves options is really nice. It's not forcing yourself to do anything. Just because you did it yesterday doesn't mean you have to do it today. And as you're ready, slowly untwisting. We're just bringing that top leg out to the side, rolling over to hands and knees, and then pressing hips up and downward facing dog. Shake it out if you need to, especially that left leg. And we'll move to the opposite side. Inhale, right knee lifts. Building some of that core strength to begin. Exhale, right knee meets the right tricep. See if you can make contact. Inhale, we'll lift back up. Exhale, right knee to left tricep. So you're twisting through that core. Inhale, lift back up. This time, exhale, right knee again to right tricep. And as you float, try to bring that right ankle towards the left wrist. And then you can set the leg down. If reclined pigeon is better for you, you can go ahead and set yourself up that way. Otherwise, walk your left leg back. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Whenever you are ready, if you want to go further, you can come down towards the floor. Elbows down, maybe you release the chest all the way down. If you feel that you're wanting to wiggle, maybe try to resist that urge and ask yourself why you're having a little bit of trouble being still today. It doesn't have to be judgmental. I have to ask myself that all the time. Like, why can't I sit still right now? And just notice if there's something blocking your meditation. As you're ready, we're going to come back up onto the palms of the hands. If you're in reclined pigeon, you can just slowly roll out of it and come up to sit. Roll over onto that right hip. This time bringing that left leg up and over the right leg. Coming into that spinal twist variation. I'll show you from the side today, on the side. Left hand behind the back. Inhale, right arm lifts. Because I want to lengthen through my spine before exhale, twisting and either hugging that right knee in or right arm, top leg in or right arm over the top leg. And just looking over the back shoulder. Back arm doesn't have really any weight in it. It's just there to help keep your spine tall. Very slowly unwind, unraveling the legs and coming into boat pose. Hands behind the thighs here, knees together, ankle bones together, and shins trying to get parallel to the floor. It's okay if they're not quite parallel, just working on that. And then try to open up that heart, really think about flattening the back. If you're there and you feel pretty good, arms out, palms facing up. We're going to do some boat crunches here. We're going to slowly extend and lengthen both lower body and upper body. But we're trying to hover the legs and hover the shoulder blades off the mat. Inhale, we'll pull back up. So nice and controlled, you can start with me now. Exhale, lower, try to lengthen. Think about moving from that center to help lift you up. So just a few more times here. Nice and slow. 3 more. Last 2. Last one. See if you can go out in your extension and just hold for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Come all the way on your back, on your mat, and draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, maybe even rolling side to side or forward and back, whatever feels good on your spine. From this position, we're going to bring our hands out, kind of like they're goalpost arms. Palms are facing up. You have a 90-degree angle in those elbows. First of all, this just feels great to me, laying here like this with my chest open, especially as we've been on computers so much. So this is a really good just posture to take throughout your day. Another thing that I like to do is come up to a doorway and place through the same position standing and just press open my chest, placing my hands on either side of the doorway and kind of taking a step forward on each side. Feels really good. It's a really good counter pose to all that forward bending. So that's just a side note I encourage you to try on your own time. So we're going to go for a spinal twist right now. We're just going to let the knees drop over towards the right side and doing your best to keep that left shoulder pointed down. And you can look over towards the left. So it's okay if the knees don't touch all the way on the other side. You're just thinking about getting that nice expansion through the heart, especially through that left side. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, knees to the opposite side. Doing your best to keep that right shoulder pointed down. And inhale back through center. We'll grab onto the outsides of the feet with the hands for happy baby, pulling the knees down towards the floor, getting all the back flat on the floor. You can wiggle any way you want here if you want. You can straighten one leg, straighten both legs. When I first started yoga, I think I've told some of you, like, I didn't actually like it. But that's because I didn't like a lot of things at that point in my life. And happy baby was just the most ridiculous pose to me. And it still is kind of ridiculous looking, but it's really nice. And babies actually do it. It's so cute. So I think it's a good name for this posture. And I think it's really good for us just to try to get out of our heads and just feel the benefits of this pose. You can straighten both legs at the same time if you'd like. Maybe bring the feet together and then spread them apart. And when you are ready, you can release them down. To end our class today, I think we should do just a few back bends. So we'll start with bridge pose, and then you'll have the option to explore other poses as you see fit and in your practice. But I'll instruct us through bridge pose today. Bring your heels in close towards your body so that you can brush the backs of them with the tips of the fingers when you extend your arms out. That's kind of a proper position. Knees in line with the hips. That's a really important thing. Oftentimes I see people splaying their knees out, and that puts unnecessary pressure on the knees, and we want to have nice strong knees for a long time. So try to keep them in line with the hips. Press the feet into the floor. Tops of the shoulders are staying on the floor, but you're just lifting the hips up. So squeezing through the backs of the legs, hip bones up towards the ceiling. Head is neutral. Arms can stay beside the body on the floor, or you can bring the hands to clasp underneath the small of the back. If you're able to clasp the hands, then roll over to one shoulder and then the other to open up the heart even deeper. This is really not a passive pose. There's a lot of action here. You're lifting those hips up. Use the strength of the backs of the legs. Open up through the heart. Exhale, release the hands, come down one vertebrae at a time. We'll go through bridge once more. If you have a deeper back bend that you're wanting to take, feel free to take that. Otherwise, you can just join me again for bridge. As you're ready, inhale, hips lift up. Clasping the hands, rolling onto one shoulder and the other, opening, lifting as high as you can. And then in your own time, slowly coming down. If there's any other postures, movements you need to take, socks or sweaters you need to put on because you've gotten cold, feel free to do those things now. You want to be comfortable in this Shavasana, extending legs out long, palms facing up. Close your eyes. If there's any energy still left in your body, or negative energy or bad thoughts or feelings, taking a moment to bring those to mind, maybe even clasping the fists really hard as you imagine gripping them. And then you can just release it, maybe even making a sound like ha or something, ha, and just let it go. I know it sounds sort of silly the first time you do it. I'm going to try that with you one more time. Really grab any of those negativities that you're feeling. Flash your hands, even curl your feet, and make an ugly face in your face. Grab it all, scrunch, 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 and then with a huff sound, let it go. Just find some stillness and some quiet, letting the muscles release, feeling the support of the earth beneath you. Doing your best to not hold on to anything, detaching yourself from any thoughts that arise. We'll stay here for a few moments of silence, and then we'll end our class together. As you're ready, starting to bring your attention back to this space. If you want to stay here in Shavasana for longer, please know that you're welcome to do so. Doing it for as long as 10 or even 15 minutes if that's what you have time for today. Otherwise, starting to awaken the body, you can wiggle the fingers and toes. Roll around to ankles and wrists. In your own time, arms can come up overhead, stretching fingertips all the way down to the toes, nice and long, like you're trying to make yourself grow a couple of inches. And then gently knees in to the center, towards your heart. Give yourself a squeeze before rolling over to one side, pausing there, using the bottom arm as a pillow underneath your head. Taking a moment to give thanks for this time, for this community, for your own body, and for the earth that supported you throughout it. And then when you're ready, come back to find that comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall, eyes remaining closed, and if they happen to open on your way, just close them again when you get there. It's not a big deal. Together, let's take another deep inhale, gathering up something good as we reach the arms up overhead and palms touch. Exhale, lower the hands, allowing them to pause over the center of the forehead as that reminder for us to have kind thoughts. Hands over the mouth as a reminder to use gentle words, and then hands at the center of the heart, a reminder to always walk with pure intentions. The light within me sees the light within each of you. Namaste.